You guys ready?
Is the MMO genre dead? Dying? To be blunt, not popular anymore. It feels like lately when people talk about MMOs, it's never in a positive light. It's always talking about
The reason why people never put MMOs in the positive light is because when you put MMO in a positive light, no one watches it. So what would you rather have? 1,000 views or 10,000 views on a video? And we're talking about, look, we're talking about much higher numbers here, right? So if you ask the Matt Season Show if he'd rather have 10k views versus 300k views, what do you think he says? It's the oldest trick in marketing. When you are negative, people are more likely to read, watch, consume your content. So it's better to complain and bring up the dirt than actually say something positive. So if you look at my video, let's say the one Ed referenced to me in the Discord message, how to fix MMOs, right? This is a quite positive, constructive, feedback-like video. It's not like it didn't really reach far distance. But when I say shit about Corepunk, people immediately watch and jump at my throat. You know what I mean? Or when I called Guild Wars 2 pay to win. People loved watching that and hating on me. Oh! But when I say how great Guild Wars 2 is, 10 views. It's just the way it is. So I would take this with a pinch of salt, you know what I mean? The online world is full of keyboard warriors, that's why. I think we're just psychologically wired to fall for negativity, right? I mean, you can literally extrapolate that point of view to extreme of how we react to a terror, right? There's just literally, there will be one terror attack and now we deem entire city unsafe.
about why this MMO is bad, why this one is dead, and the fact that nothing good is being released anytime soon.
I don't
And
think that's
as
true.
much as I hate to be a Debbie Downer, I feel like there's some truth in this. More MMOs have closed down in the past 10 years than actually been published.
I will tell you why that is. Okay, let's take a look at titles, okay? So, left-hand side, there we go. Wildstar, Terra, Rift, Warhammer, Gloria Victus, Crowfall, Archage, Chimera Land, Eternal Magic, Bless Online. There was even Dragon's Dogma Online, I didn't know. So, I will tell you why this game closed, why they shut down, is because they either had extreme pay to win and people don't like that. They were just basically shit games. We all know that MMORPGs are tough to make, and people probably believe in themselves a bit too much without being realistic. Or, for example, like Archage, they are bringing out the second game, right? Archage 2. So it makes sense they killed it. So it's not... I don't think the closing down correlation is directly tied to bad state of MMO market or lack of demand for a good MMO. Actually, there is demand for good MMO, but none of them are.
Even when a MMO does come out,
yeah.
the numbers, the population, the player numbers rapidly decline just after a month. In 2024,
because the games is shit.
RPGs to be released were Throne of Liberty and Tarisland. Raise your hand if you're still playing either of them.
So if anyone played Tarisland, I played Tarisland. So who can guess how long I played Tarisland? Come on, people in the chat. Guess how long I've played Tarisland before I made up my mind. 12 minutes, 15 hours. Actually, Ryu is very close. About 10 minutes. Yeah, dude, you log in and you immediately know it's shit. No, straight up, like. The first 10 minutes, they put you through some kind of combat, some kind of system, some kind of talents, whatever, right? You know it's crap. You just know it's a shit game. So no wonder people don't play it. Throne and Liberty, they are their own worst enemy. They have such a heavy pay-to-win mechanics, and the endgame loop is so bad for non-hardcore players, which the majority isn't. It's just literally, those games are just badly designed products, dude. It's not that so I guess by extension that means the state of MMOs is bad. I get it, but it's still self-inflicted issue. We just make bad games.
Land. Raise your hand if you're still playing either of them.
No, I'm not.
So is the
Fuck it.
future of MMOs bleak? Is it washed up as a genre? Part of the problem is developers spend 10 years making a massively multiplayer online game just for it to flop on release. However, the latest craze when it comes to the genre is releasing in early access. And it's a win-win situation. For developers, they get to release a unfinished game which they can then charge money for, all within a span of a few years, whilst also gathering feedback and suggestions
The day
how to
before,
improve the game,
Jesus.
so their title can be the best title it can be on launch and make even more money. And from a player perspective,
So the day before was literal scam, right? Like the game was scam. And I don't use that word because I know what it means. In this case, I mean it. Like the day before is probably the most extreme example you could have pulled out in this moment of the video, and it makes sense because he's trying to make a point, right? Yeah, the day before was just a pure scam. But I don't really see and I don't have any issues with early access. I know how software development works, and I know how actually valuable those tests are to those games. I think the problem is that developers either bite off more than they can chew. They are being overly confident in their abilities or in their game, and they release a game that is straight up not ready for even a test. They jump the gun. And that's where the problem is. There's no law that says this is what the game needs to be. These are the standards before it can be called early access and launched on Steam, right? This is all extremely subjective. So you get developers of like Quinfall who put out the game that is, what would you guys say, like 50% done? 30% done? It's just so unfinished. It's almost painful, right? It had all those issues, but they called it early access, just like, let me think. I guess just like Apogea, or maybe Apogea wasn't even in early access. They just did the Apogea is almost ready. Let me think. Pantheon. I think Pantheon is a great example. Pantheon feels more like 80% done, right? But at the end of the day, it's up to developer whether they call it alpha, beta, early access, or full release. Like, it's all gray area. And some people will take advantage of it to get money, and some people will be genuine and they will wait until the game is actually a wholesome experience for the player, even if it's still in the testing stage. Now, from the business perspective, I really appreciate that. I understand that. I have no issue. For as long as the game is behind the closed doors, it has zero value to the company. You have to have product in front of live audience to get value from your investment. That makes sense. So there's like confluence of different desires, needs, and points in the stage of development of a product that kind of decide where the early access is, and some people just do it too early.
you get to play a unfinished game early. Isn't that wonderful? Oh, and you get to bitch and complain about the game being a
Ashes.
buggy, glitchy mess, and hope that they actually make the changes that you suggested, which they're probably not going to do because they have your money now. But let's not be too cynical here.
Yeah.
There has been some good early access titles, and generally some that I'm actually looking forward to playing.
Stars Reach.
So in this video, I want to do a rundown of some of the early access titles you can play in 2025 and whether they're worth playing or not. And whilst we're at it, let's take a look at some future MMOs that might just save the genre, although it's bloody not likely. So if you enjoy talking about things that are dead and irrelevant, then you might also enjoy my YouTube channel. Dead and relevant, which is also pretty dead and irrelevant.
Oh, come on, dude. Don't sell yourself short.
Please
You're good.
To subscribe.
You're good.
I'm desperate.
Yeah.
So without further delay, let's take
Pantheon.
a look at some early access MMOs.
I know all
that
those
you can
fucking
play
games, dude.
in 2025, and whether they're actually worth your time and most
Pantheon.
importantly, money.
Pantheon. Pantheon.
Queenfall.
What a surprise he brings that up. Like, Ryu, Shipmaster, look, I just used the game as an example. It's such an obvious example, like, of the game being... So when Asmongold played it, he rated 2 out of 10, right? The score of the game was literally, it is what it is out of 10. And releases like this, even despite the game having really, like, potential and shit, like, it was fun for what it was when it worked. But it felt rushed. It really did. And that doesn't put the company in good faith of the audience, right? They will be now, from now on, the trust is eroded, and people won't be as easy to trust the developer as they would have been had the developer waited just a little bit.
Is calling you. Prepare yourself for thrilling, breathtaking sandbox MMORPG adventure in a West.
By the way, this whole thing is narrated by AI, okay? You can hear the accent, you can hear, like, intonation. It's half of this game is AI built, okay? I'm not saying this, like, takes away from the quality of the game, but I'm just saying if you're, like, sensitive to this game isn't for you. There's so much AI in there. You won't even believe.
Living world spanning 2,016 kilometers square.
I think the dodgy AI voiceover pretty much sums up
Yeah,
everything you need to know about.
Yeah.
Queenfall.
But just in case you have been living under a rock, let me tell you a bit more about the Queenfall and the epic
MMORPG adventure.
The Queenfall is so popular that it doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. Also, notice that I'm using my own game footage and not just a trailer, because I actually got to play this half-cooked monstrosity which is trying to be some Black Desert Online clone. The initial trailer, which released a couple years ago now, promised a open-world sandbox social MMORPG using the latest and greatest UE5 tech.
So the thing is, this game actually looks good. Like if you think about, if you take a minute to, like, if you leave the keyboard away, like just drop the keyboard, drop the mouse, and look at the game. It looks really pretty. I do have a few shorts, and we did drool over the landscape and the way cities are, I guess. It's really pretty. I even compared it to New World. They are onto something, right? It's just the underlying, like, tech, the systems is just shit. The developers are good at talking to the community, but they push the release too much. I think so. Look, so I know we don't care, okay? We don't give a fuck. I know. We are consumers. We want good games. We're not here for empathy towards developers, okay? It's them trying to sell us something. It's not us. It's us choking on a dick, okay? So let's be real. So from the developer's perspective for a second, let's have this little thought exercise, right? Maybe Shipmaster can chip in too. And so let's have this thought exercise. If you were a developer building a game, and you're at this stage of development as Queenfall is, and you're facing the challenge of financing the game any further, despite the fact how much money and time you sunk into it right now, you face a choice: kill it, or put it out and see and get people's money to continue development despite risking the bad feedback. What do you do? And try to ground your answer in reality. Think about the last time you heavily invested into something, but at the end of the day, you had to face the difficult choice, right? Like, think about the sunk fallacy a bit. Do you kill it and let go? Or do you put it out, get people's money, and fix what they point out as problems? There's only one answer there. What is it? Like, think about, again, think about from the artist perspective, from the builder perspective, right? So, yeah, just a little thought of exercise. I'd say I would put it out, despite it being really unfinished. I think so. Like, you have 10 employees as a leader of that company that's trying to make their vision, real, and they are confident about their product. It's just that they're missing money, right? And sure, you can get money from investors, or you can crowdfund the project, or you can just put it out, let people play what you've built so far by and risk getting sausages in the face, but you know, keep the wheel turning. Yeah. You have a great example of No Man's Sky turning the table, right? I mean, it launched really badly, even though it wasn't even early access. It was literally just a full release game that was just shit, and they turned it around in 10 years. 10 fucking years. A game like this. Now think about what Quinfall needs to do. Yeah. Crazy.
Technology. And who's producing this MMO, you ask? Well, it is, of course, Variek Technology.
Why, of
Inc.,
course?
Which is based in Istanbul, Turkey.
Yes.
They opened in 2021.
Yeah.
Great year. Have a whole 6 employees.
COVID.
And I quote, intends to become one of the pioneers of the industry with advanced technologies and AI systems.
That music, oh my god.
You serious? This game has already had a number of videos.
You see, okay, so here's my comment to that. I don't think it's naive to aim high. I really don't think that disruption on the market can only come from big boys. In fact, I believe in the exact opposite. And you can think about how banking is, especially in the UK. We have companies like Monzo or Starling Bank, N26. There are plenty like little banking apps that make big companies like HSBC or Barclays shake their trousers. They literally shit in their pants because of little Starling, a little Monzo. Because those little companies are so flexible, so pivotal, and they build the entire product around the biggest pains that market has but big boys can't solve, that they eventually gain the momentum, they gain the favor of the majority, and that's how you make a change. So I don't really hold it against the company that there are 6 people. I tend to believe in 6 people more than in 10,000 people, to be honest. Because 10,000 people has already reached a status quo. There's nothing new coming out of them. Look at Apple. And their iPhone 16e. It's a joke.
Calling it a scam, an asset flip.
Start off with the Slam, which is clearly realistic effects pack 4 from crypto.
Oh.
Yeah, and there's the train. It's like 13 bucks train, there you go.
But all in all, it's just a really bad game. It's just a very shit attempt at a modern day MMORPG, and I just would not spend any money on this whatsoever. Even if I was given it for free, I'll try and trade it in for something else. Okay,
well, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, he's very critical, and I understand that. I totally see that, and the game just straight up doesn't feel good. It has that potential, but can you trust them to deliver that? I don't know. It's such a huge undertaking. So I see why he's very cynical and reserved about it.
Don't believe me? I mean, the Steam population speaks for itself. I'm sure the next title we're going to look at won't be anywhere near as bad.
Oh, dude, he literally picked the worst examples. I admire that. PAX Day is another flop.
What can I say about PAX Day, which I haven't?
Did you guys play PAX Day?
There was a lot of hype and hope around PAX Day. It promised to be another social sandbox MMORPG, of course, with UE5 and the ability to craft your own little villages and hamlets and all that jazz. Everything was going well for PAX Day until they decided to disclose how they want to monetize the game.
The following plans for monetization is thusly: a one-off initial payment for the game, a regular fee for maintaining active player status and in-game plots, supplemented with free but limited access to discover the game, fully optional additional services added down the line, and they're also considering a WoW token or EVE Online Plex-like system. Wait, what? Son of a... You dumb
That's a big mistake. Big mistake. You don't do that. No. Nope. Nope. It seems like they literally monetize everything. Well, no. I mean, it was just like, it was an announcement that they are considering, okay? This is supposedly. It's not happening, I think, right? This video is very new, like 4 days old, so I hope that what we're looking at is somehow up to date. Ooh.
At the time, the game wasn't even in early access, so these were just ideas that were floating about, but either way, they seemed quite aggressive. However, what followed was 2 alpha tests and a rushed early access to Steam.
Yeah.
It was almost like they wanted to get the game out as quick as possible because they needed the money.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
why
likely.
else would you have 3 different tiers to choose from?
It is likely.
Early access, with one of them being over $100.
Fuck.
It's a social MMO without VoIP.
If there was any game that I could recommend that is in early access and I have thorough belief that will happen, is Ashes of Creation. I really like Steven. And maybe that's why. He's genuine. He stays in touch with community. He's been at it for 8 years now. Thoroughly devoted to the project, funding that out of his own pocket. And he is just like a good person in the market. I really believe Ashes of Creation. If there's any game I would put money in, it'd be it. And I actually did. Good game. Good game. Yeah. It's okay. Yeah. PAX Day chat. PAX Day. If you want to check out what's the PAX Day like recently, Lazy Peon uploaded a video. Very painful to watch. Very painful. Yeah. This game is far from done.
For fuck's sake. To be honest, if this game was still being developed and hadn't released, then people would probably have more faith in this title. But I think, once again, the Steam charts speak for themselves.
Yep. Although, again, they are adding the persistent servers. This will become a full-blown MMO. You will have always-on server. So I guess compounding will have its impact on the state of the game too. Because once people build something, it's there forever, right? So then other players that will come in later will enjoy it as part of the landscape. And the more we build, the more we act on the world, the more shaped up and complete it looked. Right? So it could be it. I don't know. We'll see.
He's already dead.
But even their promised roadmap has been slow in progress. The game released in early access in June 2024.
Okay.
And in November 2024, they're talking about such improvements to Zone Chat, with voice chat still only in the planning stage for this social MMO. But don't worry, they released the marketplace in December. Sorry, I mean in January. And let's not forget such innovations such as adding a compass. Jesus Christ.
Compass?
I don't realize it's in that bad of a state. I'll tell you what, if this video gets 2,069 likes, I'll do a 100-hour review.
Don't
To
give him
summarize,
likes.
it's
No,
another-
don't subject him to the torture. Dude, seriously. The game is just... yeah, no.
5 MMO flop, and I really don't see it bouncing back anytime soon.
Yeah,
So, save your money, don't play.
I bought it. God damn it. Oh, big boy! Ooh, we got Brighter Shores,
Bright
dude!
Shores is what some would argue
Oh,
a
fuck.
spiritual successor to
People are so mad at this game. Crazy!
RuneScape.
Yeah.
Mainly because it was created by Andrew Gower, who also made RuneScape. It is free to play on Steam and indeed in early access. Released in November 2024, it's not the most popular early access game ever made, but it certainly has some draw to it.
I don't think this game was supposed to be popular at all. That's the thing. This game is aimed in a very nerdy, niche down, RuneScape flavored market. Very tiny segment, really. I don't think it was ever supposed to be a popular game. Just like Apogea won't ever be a mass market game, right? But it's okay. That's what makes it special.
And I know what you're thinking. RuneScape, but upstate graphics, and it's free to play? That's too good to be true.
It's so dumb, it's brilliant.
No! It's just dumb.
Well, technically, it's not completely free to play. There are episodes, and after episode 2, so 3 and 4, you do have to pay a subscription.
That's fine.
As I said, it is early access, so some features are
Alright, let me
missing,
see those perks. 1 second. Wait.
such as
Oh, I see. So they lock content behind paygate or paywall. Unique character name is one without the suffix. You cannot use a unique name someone else has. Okay. Exclusive armor, change your name. Yeah, so okay, that's a bit shitty, I guess. I don't know. I feel like the world should be open to everyone. Whether you're free or not.
a subscription. As I said, it is early access, so some features are missing, such as PvP, player-to-player trading, and the
Yeah, not a fan of that. Yeah, it feels weird, right? Like you lock the game. It's almost like you could only explore Elwyn Forest on the trial account in World of Warcraft. Yeah, I think one of the best trial accounts I've ever seen was Final Fantasy XIV. I still don't think it's ideal because they won't allow you to create a group unless you pay for the subscription. But at least you have, other than that, pretty much no limits. I mean, sure, you can't have a house. You can't, like, go for... I think you can't create a group for a raid, which goes back to creating a party. Yeah, there are some basic limitations, but other than that, you just hop in and do the fuck you want. And if you like the game, you pay. That's it. So it's quite nice, actually.
ability to party up with other players. Which really begs the question, is it a MMO or just a single player game with a shared world where you can see other people but not really interact too much?
Yeah.
I mean, you could do text chat, but honestly, if there's no trading or fighting or partying...
Wait, did he say there's no text chat?
Game. But the big question is it going to replace old school RuneScape or
It won't.
even RuneScape 3?
I don't think it's ever meant to do any of that. I don't think anyone, even the owner of the game, hoped for it. He just wanted to just put out a new game. I think it's pretty much it. He's a guy who probably builds those... Like, if you are stuck with a game for 20, 30 years, it's probably your passion project from that perspective, right? So he's clearly invested into building MMOs and worlds for people in a way he likes. And this is probably just another title of his. I don't think he tried to take away the market from RuneScape or whatever deliberately.
And quite honestly, no.
No, for sure.
The Steam charts aren't too bad.
Well, that was fucking dreadful.
Okay, that's actually shocking. But they are missing a lot of basic systems, so maybe that's why people don't want to play.
Yeah. Look, honestly, straight up, I think if people don't play the game, it's because it's something inherently wrong with the game. I don't think there's like hidden vendetta that players have. Oh, we're gonna content nuke that game. We're gonna leave all the shit reviews to kill it. No one wakes up like this in the morning. No one wakes up, which game I'm gonna try to kill today? Nah, dude, you literally build a shitty game. That's all there's to it. There's no like hidden agenda, hidden shenanigans, you know, shenanigans are hidden by definition, so anyway. It's just straight up bad game. People don't like it. That's it. Go, move on. Yeah.
That's not to say that's not a good game though. I did enjoy my time playing it, and it is free to play up until a point. So it's how early access in my eyes should be. It's very much seeking feedback without rinsing your pockets.
Yeah.
And if we look deep inside our hearts, I think we can honestly say this game will not save the MMO genre.
No.
But it is fun to play.
I don't know if MMO genre needs saving, to be honest. That's a very... It's a heavy topic, which I don't want to unpack right now, but the guy that created this great video, he comes from the perspective that MMO genre needs saving. I don't think so. Because this is a big statement. I don't want to unpack that now, but I will have a think and maybe we can have a discussion at the time. Oh, we played this.
It's crazy to think that Pantheon Rise the Fallen was first announced on Kickstarter back in January 2014. It's taken.
By the way, this is another game that I really have huge faith in. Yeah, the developers are fucking amazing, man. I follow them around on Twitch and on X. They go live pretty much fucking daily. They upload shit daily. They communicate new armors, new feedback, new change. Like, they're so on it. It's unbelievable. They're probably more on it than Intrepid Studios on Ashes of Creation. They're really cool. They look, because of feedback and that shit, they upgraded entire game engine. They genuinely building that from the good place. They're really good people.
Over 10 years for it to reach Steam.
Although I might go on the wrong side of the fence now. Community is weird. Extremely protective. Extremely, I would say, set in a certain ways. And you can kind of judge that by watching a few streams. It's not necessarily the crowd I'm vibing with. I don't know. Maybe it's the... Yeah, I don't know what that is. It just... I don't feel it. Hence, I'm struggling to play it more. They are, like, helpful and nice, but maybe they're too serious a bit? Too intense, maybe? Yeah? I mean, it's just the way it is. Like, every product has its own audience, right? And this game is genuinely fun to play, but community is such a big aspect of a game that it just feels bad to me. You know? Yeah, maybe they're too intense, too serious. I don't know.
It's an early access title.
Because I like to write like KEKW and shit in the chat. I don't feel that they match my vibe in that sense. They're too serious.
In that time, it's had its fair share of controversies and drama. And worse still, they lost Brad McQuaid in 2019. He was not only the founder of Pantheon, but he also had a lot of knowledge and wisdom behind him, as he used to be a developer on EverQuest, one of the inspirations behind this title. But despite
it's not even inspiration, it's literally one-to-one game.
Early access on Steam, and it's actually doing pretty well.
It is.
Okay, it's only 2 months in, but when you maintain your audience as opposed to...
I'm telling you, it's all thanks to the way developers stay in touch with the community. That's why the game is able to maintain the player count.
90% of it. That's a win. So what does Pantheon have to offer? Well, it's what I like to call a boomer MMO. It really is aimed at those who love the classic MMO genre. Yeah. We're talking tab targeting, class diversity.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to put it. I'm not a boomer, so I guess that kind of makes sense, right?
And most important, grouping up to do dungeons. Sure, it doesn't have the flashiest combat in the world, but neither does old school RuneScape. And everyone knows how nuts everyone is about that MMO. I sunk a few hours into Pantheon personally, and I actually liked it. It wasn't bad. The graphics are definitely a lot more of an advancement compared to the classic MMOs
totally good game
seen in the past. And it didn't go out its way to hold my hand. It was actually somewhat, I don't want to say difficult, because it's not like Elden Ring difficulty, but it certainly made me think, and I did die quite a few times.
Yeah.
This is definitely one to sit in Discord and play with friends, and honestly, I'm looking forward to the future update. And the great thing is, they're very open about their development. In fact, if you don't believe me, you can ask their creative director personally, who actually streams on Twitch.
Yeah, and not only he streams, he also streams through the game's he plays the game through Unity client. He loads up the game through the game development client. So this is what you see, and you see the game inner workings on the screen while he plays the game. It's so good. It's like both worlds that I love. I love seeing the complete product, but I am very curious how it works in the background, and you can enjoy both here. Really cool. Yeah, I'm telling you, they have such a great way, such a great approach to running this product. It's awesome. But again, like, they are not my crowd, I think. But if I had friends who want to play the game, I would totally go in. Yeah, 100%. It's really fun.
So Pantheon is not a scam MMO? I don't think so.
No, it's not a scam MMO.
I don't think so.
It goes without saying, but I feel like I have to say it anyway. If you don't like classic MMOs, then you're not going to like this.
True.
And that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I actually prefer it when an MMO doesn't try to cater for everyone.
Yeah.
And Pantheon does that just perfectly.
Oh!
I played a lot of early access titles in the last year, and I have to say, Project Gorgon was a pleasant surprise.
Project Gorgon is a very unique project. I believe it's a project that was started by a husband and a wife, and I think wife passed away. I think so. I remember reading. I think it is Project Gorgon. But in any case, they just announced some kind of changes and a new patch, just like Lord of the Rings, you know, the game that is over 20 years old. They just added like support for 60-bit client and some new content, and there's really hype about that too. So like, I'm telling you, you know how early I said about that tweet that I posted? I literally posted it. We see more of those old school inspired MMOs coming out because nothing new has worked. We're going back to the drawing board, building on the foundations gamers love. EverQuest is now Pantheon, Tibia is now Apogea, MapleStory is now Soul's Remnant, Albion is now Warborn, although Albion is a quite well-developed and active game. But just to drive a point, right? I think this is a really good direction because we are, again, starting from point one, being all that rich with experienced what didn't work and what worked. Like, we're trying again. Pantheon is a click and drag for camera movement. No. Wait, camera movement. Oh, camera movement. So yes, you hold the right button of your mouse to rotate camera, but you walk with WASD.
I went in with very low expectations and came out actually wanting to play more of it. So much so that I plan on doing a full review. Just trying to find the time to juggle 20 different MMOs right now. But this title is very close to the top of my list.
I never considered playing it. It's because of probably the outdated graphics that put me off. It's... Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I should try that. Not for me then, really? So what kind of controls do you like? I thought that was your vibe. Like, it literally works like in Throne and Liberty. But not the way you had fucked up from the beginning, like after I helped you fix it. Like, it literally works that way. It's like the most common way to control the character.
So who's behind Project Gorgon, you might be wondering? Well, it's Elder Game Studios, who's led by husband and wife duo Eric Heimberg and sadly the recently passed Sandra Powers.
See, I remember that.
Combined, they have experience working on such titles as Asheron's Call 1 and 2, Star Trek Online, and even EverQuest 2. The game originated as a Kickstarter, which was launched back in 2015, and hit the Steam store in March 2018 as early access. The combat is sort of like a hybrid tab targeting action combat. I actually quite enjoyed that. There are 16 combat skills, 71 trade skills, and 11 beast skills. And you're not restricted as to what you can learn. I mean, I was running around with a rat at one point. The questing is actually quite refreshing. I'd say it's on par with old school RuneScape.
Ha! Nice. You got
it's
quizzes.
Just a clever MMO. For instance, I was fighting a boss which makes your head gigantic, and in doing so, my helmet fell off. It's just those little details that you gotta love.
Okay.
And even on the tutorial island, there were hidden secrets and more than one way to actually escape it. And the community, super friendly. Sadly though, the player base doesn't reflect how great this game is. But you know what? It doesn't matter, because you can tell this is done as a passion project as opposed to something to try and rinse the community out of their money. There's also a free demo you can try before you buy, which is always a nice asset. Me personally though, I look forward to sinking more hours into this.
200 people play this?
Enjoy reviewing this title.
That's like single player. Oh, okay. I think I know where he's going to go with this is because he clearly likes he called them himself boomer MMOs. He liked Pantheon, he liked Project Gorgon. I can kind of sense what he's liking more than not. I think he's gonna go hard on National of Creation, but from the more on the suspicious perspective, from the negative perspective.
So first of all, let's address the elephant in the room. Is this a true alpha, as some people put it, or is it indeed early access for...
Who decides what's alpha, what's not? That's the thing. Like, that question is just stupid.
Over $100. The answer to this will be very much dependent on how much money you probably already sunk into the game and how much of a cultist you actually are.
This
Yeah.
is still a work in progress. Work in progress UI and art is a work in progress.
But anyway,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter because you were able to play the game officially as of October
Yeah.
2024. Whether it be alpha or early access, you were able to log on, create a character, and finally get to experience the joy which is Ashes of Creation.
It's really fun.
For many weeks, people enjoyed this new, refreshing MMO, and that included myself, who got up to a few shenanigans. We've got people coming in.
Shit!
Kill him! Kill him! Fuck him up! Let's go! Let's go! Big damage! Come on, Puggle! Wait, he's not going down? Jesus! He can run! Come on, Puggle! Eat dirt! Oh no! Oh, he's a tank, right? Jeez! Oh, he dead.
Nice.
Oh, we're flagging up on
Savages.
Here I come. Here I come.
Okay.
I'm
Hey, I didn't know S-Fund played it.
Oh, they're coming for me. I'm leaving. Yeah, that 8-man group is definitely meta. They're a guild, and they.
Oh,
that guild
Shobek is
played,
with them.
beta,
Shobek is
so-
awesome.
Or the Alpha 1, so they know about something about that spot there.
I want to say it's a beta still now. Oh, I'm naked. Oh, look at me.
Oh shoot! Because you dropped all your gear.
I lost everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jack though. Wait, hold up. I want that body. Like IRL.
No.
And although
Okay.
there were certain bugs and obviously features missing,
Yeah.
for the most part, it was pretty much a positive reception that this game got. Roll on December 2024, and it's now in its Phase 2 version of its alpha. What this means is that you can now play for longer, and there's apparently some more features. It's also
Flash news. They are bringing out Rogue at the end of the March. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
also worth noting that Phase 1 ended in a server wipe, but they promised that Phase 2 will not have the same fate. If you believe that, then you also believe that I'm 6'8" and proper hench. Reception of Phase 2 hasn't been as good as Phase 1, and there are many reasons for this. Despite collecting quite a large amount of player data in the initial Phase 1, for some reason Intrepid still insists that it should take you a whole lifetime to get to max rank or 25, which is just a placeholder max rank. Apparently, the best way to test that alpha is to make the game loop basically grinding mobs to get to max rank so that you can actually be relevant in PvP if it ever does take place. Speaking of PvP, they decided that it should be very consensual and that...
So, by the way, my problem is with Ashes of Creation is that you really need to grind, just like in Quinfall. And you need to grind with a group. Solo leveling is hard. It's doable, but it's hard. I think there's a YouTuber who accomplished all characters level 25 within 50 hours of grinding each. But that's 50 hours grinding mobs, like straight up grinding. It might maybe it doesn't feel a lot, but when you actually grind, it feels a lot. And that's my biggest problem. There are no quests yet. They're building out the quest system. But if you look at it from the perspective of what the game tries to be, I think at some point Steven said that getting to max levels should take you like 2 years. In other words, in the sandbox MMO, level is irrelevant. You are leveling by chopping down tree, cooking at the city. Like, you can level in all sorts of ways. Level isn't like requirement to do things in the game. It's like, it's almost like living IRL. You can't really level up any faster, right? It just happens, and the more you level, the more zones in real life open up in front of you, you know? When you're 18, you can do that and that. When you're 25, you can do that. When you're 40, you get your first DLC, like kidney stones, you know, that kind of shit. This game is also that kind of thing. You just go through it, and you learn new stuff as you grow and as you experience more and explore more. Like, leveling is never focused in this game. But people obsess about that quite a lot. Maybe because they want to playtest all the classes, I don't know. I'm still level 12. Yeah, that's fine. I don't give a fuck. I am farming. I'm actually learning to farm and learning to cook in the game. And I'm just level 12 tank. I don't care. Like, literally, you have to change your mindset a bit when going into this game.
Any PvP which is done unconsensually, as in you're a red player who attacks someone out the blue, well, if you die, you basically lose a lot of gear and a lot of XP, and it's pretty much pointless doing so. To add to that, when you do die in PvP, you lose XP, which is great, apart from the fact that it takes you a lifetime to level up in this game.
Yeah.
So guess what people don't want to do?
Just like in Apogea. Yeah, literally like Apogea. Same system. Exactly the same system. As long as they're enjoying the game, who cares? Exactly, yeah. It's just... I don't think people people don't find enjoyment in slow progress. They want everything now, and that's why Throne and Liberty got such a good reception at the beginning, because the game is so fast-paced, so quick, and so full of dopamine that it just got people hooked at the beginning for a couple of months, but that wore off, right? And Ashes of Creation is exactly opposite. Ashes of Creation is the same pace, consistent pace from the very beginning till the very end. There's no... It's like, have you ever been on a keto diet? And your energy level is, no matter what you do, is exactly the same. This is the Ashes of Creation. Ashes of Creation's keto diet of MMOs.
That's right. PvP, just in case they lose XP. During time PvP does take place as if there's an outnumbered fight going on, or if indeed you are level 25 already, because you can't go down a rank. And the fun doesn't stop there. They've implemented what is arguably one of the most boring crafting systems ever seen, and on top of that, base material, stuff that you should get at low level, is very hard to find, because for some reason they thought a limited amount of crafting nodes for low level gear would be a good idea.
Quick correction, this is no longer the case, or at least it will be no longer the case with the next update. They listened to feedback, and what they did, they fucking reworked entire resource system from ground up again. So they heard that complaint a lot, and I admit it's boring. It was even worse, so bad to the point that people would camp one particular place. Like, for example, looking at this flower, right? This is the spawn of that flower. It's always there. It's just on the clock, right? You're gonna have to wait 1 hour before it reappears. And the thing is that in the game, you have different levels of quality for each resource, and it's predefined by each spawn point. So if you find a flower that is, let's say, if you find a spawn of a flower that is a legendary quality, you will always get legendary quality in that spawn point. So what people would do, they would camp it. And they would just constantly pick up legendary items. And they would fight over it, etc. And so players didn't like that, and that's just another reason why they are completely reworking that shit. Yeah, hitting max level in New World now is way too fast and easy, doesn't feel rewarding at all. Yeah, that's the thing. They rush people to the end game that it doesn't exist. And that's the whole problem. They have to make leveling a journey, and then they have to make end game interesting and feel satisfying too. New World has so many problems.
Don't forget, this is indeed a social...
On the fundamental level, right?
MMO. Without VoIP. Make it make sense. There's also been a few controversies. For instance,
I watched this live
for a whole 5 minutes, and he got ganked. And the initial response to that was to turn off PvP. Although they did eventually make the starting area a non-PvP zone, which goes without saying. Why was it a PvP zone in the first place?
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
And that's what user feedback does to a game. Yeah, people complain. So developer can't see everything, right? Like, they can't imagine every behavior possible from the player. So they put people in, shit happens, they act. It's good. Like, literally, no one remembers about that anyway.
Oh, and you can't PvP till level 5 now, because apparently it took Asmongold getting ganked a load of times for them to come up with that idea.
Yeah.
Genius. And as for the community, it's hard to say, because there's been quite a few people no longer covering the game because it's no longer interested.
Yeah, that's the thing. I found that myself. Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree here. It's just... The game is just so slow-paced and so reliant on other people. It's very hard to stream and make content out of. It is really at the beginning, when you have this honeymoon, everything is new. That's great. People love that. But then, like, this phase when you're like level 5, 7, and you try to get to 25, it's just so slow, unsatisfying, and boring to watch No one wants to stream it. No one wants to create content based off of it. The game has no longer the attention that it used to have, and I think I don't think. I'm trying to think if it's wrong. I don't think it's bad necessarily. It's just that the way the game is, you know, how some games are just not for streaming, some games are just not for content, but yeah, kind of like Quinfall. Yeah, it really is kind of like Quinfall, with the difference that Quinfall has bad combat system. It's just really boring. In here, combat is one of the best I've seen in MMOs. And that's what comes to the rescue. It's really something. Yeah. They are on the right track to make one of the best combat systems I've ever seen in MMO. They have great foundations for it.
Ash the Creation's biggest content creator had a full-on meltdown and just left the game, which
yeah, I
was
know.
pretty impressive. And actually,
that was purely emotional. That there was no substance to that reaction. Yeah, that's not that. Don't use that as the indicator for the quality of the game. That's nothing. That has nothing to it.
For a bit, which has left a huge vacuum when it comes to content for Ash the Creation. Other than a handful of people I can recommend, Ash the Creation's content basically revolves around reacting to reactions and re-uploading reactions.
Yeah.
It is the most boring shit I've ever seen.
Yes, it is.
Roll on Steven Sharif doing his 100th interview for the year.
Is.
And I know what you're thinking right now. What are the player numbers like? Well, it's hard to tell, but the servers, there's only a couple of them now, compared to what they originally had during Phase 1. But if we go with guild sizes, I mean, Pirate Gaming's guild has about 10,000 people alone. So,
yes.
So if we use maths to work
I'm one of them.
out that Pirate Gaming has taken over this server with 10,000 players, that means the total population is probably about 10,001 players.
Oh no, I thought
I'm pretty sure in one of the interviews, Steven said that servers can handle like 6,000 players, concurrent players. But I'm not sure if that's... Yeah, I think I have a vague recollection of that.
Bought rations and I didn't. Bro, this dude is in actual Pirates 13 and wants a different group. What?
So
yeah, I'm in a Pirate 49. And I joined like 4 months ago. Yeah.
So to summarize, Ash the Creation is not the savior of MMOs. It certainly isn't that much fun to play at the moment. And don't waste your money. But before the Ash the Creation hate train comes to my comment section, just remember one thing.
That's my opinion!
Did I forget anything? Was that it? Did I get everything?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I see where he's coming from. I find myself not wanting to log into the game anyway. But I don't think it's the game that's... Fuck. At the end of the day, this game might not be for a casual like me. And again, I think that's fine if the game has its own segment that it goes for. It's very group heavy. And I find myself struggling to just log in and play for a couple of hours and do something meaningful with that time. Because you have to be part of the raid that attacks caravans, or you may even want to run a caravan, but for that you need a group that can protect you. If you want dungeons, raids, even if you went for the most brain-dead grinding from level 20 to 21, you need a group. Everything that relies on the group, right? So maybe that's why I can't get to the point where I'm excited about the game, because I'm so locked in that little world for casuals within the game that comprises of pretty much nothing. I log in and all I can do is go chop tree, mine ore, fish. I know. Grow a cow. I mean, that sounds boring as I explain it, let alone play it, right? Yeah, I think they need to... okay, I don't want to say they need to. What I would like to see myself as my preference is that they focus a bit more on the solo content just like Ed from Apogea recognized that solo players are super important in games because they keep the game going. Like groups are just like a separate content, they separate part to the game that can't be neglected, but it can't be the focus of it either. I think I heard 10k per server. At the moment, you need to be 150% dedicated to play this game. Even when I put in 200 hours in the game, in 1.5 months, it was still not enough for the people around me. Yes. You see, that's what I mean. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Shipmaster is a great guy to talk to about Dashes of Creation because he went so fucking hard on that game. I don't know anyone who has invested so much as him, honestly. Like, straight up.
So for this next segment, I just want to reel off some MMOs that I'm personally looking forward to.
Okay.
And some that I think are probably...
Shit. It's Malakia.
And I know I missed off some other early access MMOs. Such
Star
as
Citizen. Yeah.
Raven Dawn. And even Core Punk. But I just feel more comfortable talking about the ones I've just covered off.
Yeah, Core Punk
So
I played.
Let's begin with some MMOs that are coming out in the future. Trailers. Let's go.
Okay. Yep.
I honestly don't understand the hype around Arcade 2.
Pay to win.
Considering how Arcade 1 finished,
100%.
which was, well, people stopped playing it because it was monetized to fuck and severely unbalanced.
Of course.
But hey,
it's Cacao Games. It pay to win.
Arcade 2, which by the way, they've already said is going to be more like a single player game than an MMORPG. So go figure that one out. I think they're trying to do a new world and classify themselves as a action MMORPG, whatever that is. Either way, it's scheduled for release in 2025, and they've also changed the name to Arcade Chronicles. But yeah, I'm sure it's going to be fine.
This one looks
Another
good,
title
but
being
pay to win.
published by Cacao Games is Chrono Odyssey, which is a next-generation action MMORPG.
So beautiful.
God, they're really throwing around that genre this year, aren't they? But apparently, you manipulate time and stuff, and it's open world, and they haven't got a release date yet, but some people speculate either this year or next. But I'm not being funny, just the fact that it's being published by Cacao Games makes me want to avoid it.
Yeah, basically. Okay.
Dune Awakening
Big dick.
is a survival MMO,
Big dick.
and it looks to be actually massive. Many people have already played the beta and said positive things about it. It is indeed a PvE and PvP game, so don't worry if you are a bit of a Care Bear, because there is a place for you in this game. Obviously, survival games aren't everyone's cup of tea, but I generally think there's a good game here. This could be a contender for Game of the Year.
Yeah,
we'll soon see.
We'll see.
Monsters and
eyeing out
Memories
this
is
one.
a indie fancy MMORPG scheduled for early access in January 2000.
So he says release 2026. So and then he says it's early access 2026. Where is it? Yeah, I got it under copium date, so I got it right. He's got it wrong.
26. This MMO is going for the classic style, so you boomers out there will probably love it.
Yeah, dude. Another Pantheon.
It's based on the gameplay, social interaction, and sense of being in a virtual world that we loved in the classic era, early 2000s, of MMORPG.
Oh, the fat bitch.
So yes, it's a certified boomer MMO.
Yes.
But do you know what? It doesn't look too bad. I'll probably give it a
go. True. No, I'll give it a go too, sure. Oh, okay, this one.
Stars Reach is a...
So this is funny, chat. I've been invited to being the playtester for this game. Well, probably 3 months ago, or something like that. And they run playtest every week. And I never played a single one of them. So they have this weird thingy where they launch the game. The playtests are like dosed in 4-hour batches. They have those playtest windows, 4 hours in the morning, 4 hours in the evening. But because their time zones are just weird, I can never play them. Like literally straight up, they never played and they never. I can never play them and they never suggest any other time. It's either super midday when I have to work to do. I think like 11 a.m. Or it's midnight for me or some shit. It's just I can't do that. And I'm really pissed because I look forward to this game. There's crazy things you can do in this game.
Very interesting looking MMO, and it recently just got backed on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
I know because I backed it myself.
Yay!
But essentially, it's No Man's Sky, but on crack and with better systems. Well, hopefully, fingers crossed. There's already been a few play tests, and you can sign up now if you go to their Discord, and they are aiming for early access in 2026. But as they say, good things come to those who wait.
Nah.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Guild Wars 3 has officially been confirmed now. It had been rumored for some time that it was going to be on UE5, but now they've had the shareholders meeting. They can confirm it is being worked on.
It is being worked on, but it is a game. Look, it's here. It's right here. It's going to be pay to win. It just, there's no way around it, and that is such a shame. I love Guild Wars franchise. I grew up with Guild Wars 1.
But when will it be released? Well, set your alarm clocks for about 10 years from now.
Yeah, probably.
I'm being facetious. It's at least 6 years away.
Yeah.
7 years away?
Okay, this one.
And who can forget that Amazon
I'm tempted.
Working on a
Lord of the Rings. Okay, so I mean Lord of the Rings Online, that's out right there. They got new updates, patches, and content. That's what I'm tempted to play. This one I don't know much about.
MMO. After initially cancelling it, and then deciding, actually, we want to do it now.
Yeah.
I think everyone's just picturing New World, but with a Lord of the Rings skin on top of it, which honestly sounds pretty decent. So I have high hopes for this title, even though it is being made by Amazon.
I love anything Tolkien. Any time I can get in Tolkien's world, I will totally take it.
And last one to mention is the ZeniMax MMO Project Kestrel. There is no name to it, there's no IP to it.
Never heard of it.
A bunch of rumors and some job advertisement. Some
Really?
people actually think it's a
Kestrel.
Star Wars MMO, but I've already covered this off on a previous video and gone into great details. I'm just going to link it in the top right here. But essentially, it's not Star Wars. It's probably just going to be, I don't know, Starfield Online, which might be... No, it'll be trash. It'll just be trash. I'm sure the comment section is going to be a very interesting place to read, and I'm sure people will mention that I forgot games like Soulframe, Riot's MMO, and whatever else got cancelled or reactivated. But the truth be told, there's a lot of MMOs we just won't know about until they're actually announced. A lot of them are done in secret. Not everyone does open development. I will be very truthful in saying that I felt last year there's more hype for MMOs, especially with Ashes of Creation, PAX Day, and a few others. But in typical fashion, a lot of the games were actually disappointing or just simply didn't live up to the hype. Who could have seen that coming? And let's be realistic, the next big MMO isn't going to be one that's been announced and advertised for over the last 10 years. It's going to be something that comes out of nowhere and just hits you like a freight train. But as a whole, I do feel like the genre is in good hands just by looking at some of these promising early access MMOs. I honestly feel like the MMO industry can learn a lot from the indie devs as opposed to these AAA ones.
Perfect.
But then again, the AAA ones are still going. So maybe everyone can learn from each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
And on that bombshell, I'm going to end the video there. Let me know in the comment section if I missed any MMOs which you feel I should cover, and especially any that are in early access and I can play now. Also, I ask, if you did like the video, please leave a like, because it indicates to me that people like this slop. I mean, well-edited video. Sub for more slop, and I'll leave some more slop on the screen now that you could watch and enjoy. And a thank you to my YouTube members and Patreons.
So it's a really good video.
Fund this slop.
This is the video. If you guys wanna see it yourselves and like it and whatever, this is a good video. I don't think the so his summary is pretty much spot on to what I have in mind. Like the state of MMO is the same as has always have been, right? It's just that now we get more people building stuff, and that stuff just isn't good, and there's more bad shit than good shit, and that creates like what's the word? One second, let me translate it. I'm looking for a good word. I know good word. Yes. And that creates an impression that all of it is bad. And I don't think it really is. It's just a case of letting people experiment, letting people innovate, test things out, putting out and getting feedback, and just waiting for a more crystal idea of what's next. And that's really it. And we need both sides to the coin. We need indie MMOs, which are very flexible, very creative, mostly passion projects, which have an idea of the idea behind those games is literally what the dev has in mind, right? It's very close tied to dev's preferences, and that invites other like-minded people to the movement, and that's awesome, right? But then those indie MMOs, they don't have reach, they don't have budgets, they don't have marketing power that the whales have, right? So you need those too. And remember, every whale used to be a little peepee at some point too. There is a balance in nature, as always, and we need both sides to the coin, both sides to the fence. It's just that they have different roles to play in all of it. I believe him, if a game that is not hyped for years shows up like Apex did back in the day, that will create enough hype just by itself. Yeah, but the hype is short-lived, right? Like, I mean, sure, there are people who play Apex, but yeah, it's just irrelevant at this point, right? And we need a game who comes out of nowhere and people actually want to play it, like Palworld. I think Palworld is a great example. It literally showed up out of nowhere, and people play it until this day. People love it until this day. Yeah, I think like they sure probably, I imagine the population of the game dropped quite a lot. I mean, just the way of things. But look at this. Yeah, see, so when the game came out, people went crazy. But look, this is fucking awesome. We have 50K. In the video we showed, he showed the Project Gorgon having 500 players. No, 200 players. Look at this shit. This is crazy. If an MMO could do that, it would be amazing. And I learned from Apex launch is that they need new content and also waiting in the background at the very start. Yeah, this is exactly what Apogea is doing. They have so much content built up front, but they only release a bit of it. And then they release the new part in batches, but it's always ready to go. So yeah, that's a really good idea.
Subscribe.